the only time you are.
Hey, all of you out there in Eorzea, welcome to She Heals, I Tank, your Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Today is Friday, April 30th, end of the month, and this is episode 253 of the Shit Podcast. In case you don't know what Shit Podcast stands for, it's She Heals, I Tank. I'm your host, Vegan Pete, and always by my side, the wonderful, the lovely...
Hey guys, Avi Ale here. How you doing?
I'm good, Avi. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Ginger Jam's hitting us with that Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone joining us here live today at twitch.tv/SheHealsITank. So happy. Warmed our heart. Started a little hype train for us before we got started. Thank you so much to everyone here at Twitch. And thank you to all of you listening to the podcast, watching on YouTube. However you do consume your shit, it is the correct way.
I feel like that's something you need to say more often. However you consume your shit. Okay.
We're out for a couple weeks, but we're back, baby. I took a little mini vacation on a canoe trip down the Colorado River. It was a great time paddling into 30-mile-per-hour headwinds.
You told me it was 40.
30 to 40. So I got my workout in, so I'm glad to be back. And we're about to get into it.
Now he can just play video games again and then work out again when he goes on his next trip next year.
Yep. One workout a year, baby.
Yeah.
Hope you've had a good couple of weeks as well. We're talking about patch 5.5 today. And we're not talking about the MSQ, though. We're going to wait until patch 5.5 hits. With the second part of the MSQ. So we're going to be talking about the Alliance Raid, Diamond Weapon, Ishgardian Restoration Fets, Skysteel Tools, and we'd love to hear what you think about all of those topics as well. And I promise that I won't leave you on hold all episode like we accidentally did to Chili last episode.
I just moved my Discord over so I could see it this time, so I can help you.
So sorry about that, Chili. Don't be afraid to call in again.
We still love you, Chili.
With all of that being said, let's get into everyone's favorite segment.
Greenleaf Minute.
It's the Greenleaf Minute, and this week we're talking about a couple of mounts that you can buy, Avi. And
like
not,
cash money buy or guild buy?
Buy with cash money at the cash shop. They added some mounts that you can pay some gil for.
And not just a little bit of gil.
In-game,
It's a lot of bit of gil.
They kind of teased it during the last live letter that they just said it was going to cost a significant amount of gil.
Now we know what a significant amount of gil is to Square Enix.
To Square Enix, yes, because a significant amount can vary widely
person
between
to person.
The player base.
Yep.
But yes, they added two mounts, the Golden Great Serpent of Ronka and the Gold Namazu mounts. And if you're a true Greenleaf, the amount we're about to mention might seem like a lot to you.
A substantial amount, even, some would say.
But at least you have a goal in mind now. You know what you're going to have to save for.
If you want. I mean, it's a status symbol. This is definitely a status symbol. So total, you're going to need 75 million mounts for
75 million
mounts.
You must collect 75 million mounts
all
to
of the
turn
mounts
it in
to get the gil
for one golden Namazu.
So the Great Serpent of Ronka, which both of these mounts actually already exist in game, but they're not shiny gold and they don't have like coins falling off of them, and they're both Beast Tribe mounts.
Everything's
right?
gold plated.
Was the Serpent of Ronka Beast Tribe mount?
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't do that one.
Actually, I know we get one from them. I don't know. I think we also got one from the MSQ.
Okay. So the Great Serpent of Ronka will run you 25 million gil, and you can pick it up in Yulmore, while the Gold Namazu mount is going to run you 50 million gil, which you pick up in Mordana. I think the reason is because the Namazu mount is like huge. Plus you've got like 8 Namazu that are going to be like squeaky, 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 running you around. It sounded just like it. So it's a little bit more, I think they put more design time into that Namazu mount probably than most mounts in the game.
I think it's awesome.
It's a great mount regardless. If you don't want to spend the 50 million gil to get it, you should do the Namazu Beast Tribes because it's one of my favorite mounts. It's a wonderful mount.
And really good quests as well.
Oh, the quests are really
probably
adorable.
The best Beast Tribe quest.
Not probably.
They are.
They are.
Do them.
Gator Pants said hobby voiceover in 6.0. That'd be hilarious. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
But yeah, I think this is totally awesome. I hope they kind of do this. Like, I'd love for them to do every patch. I mean, I don't imagine it's that much design work just to change up the color. Make
I don't know
some
that
exclusive mounts.
It still needs to be special, and I do feel like, I mean, it's not much for them to just been talking in a podcast for a few weeks, just to change the colors and add like the additional coin sort of animation to it. But I feel like if they overdo it, it loses the novelty.
But I think they need to get higher in price every time.
Ooh.
The next one will be like 75, 100.
I'm actually, that would make it, that would still keep it novel. As shitty as that would be, like, it would really suck for people. Like, I wouldn't want to spend that kind of gil, but
maybe cap out at like half a billy, 500 million.
500 million. But I mean, like, that would make it really, really, because like I saw somebody who was like, I earned my 25 million this week and I got my mount. Like, took them a week of grinding and they got it. So it's like, you can do it. You just got to really want it.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Like, if you, like I said, if you're Greenleaf, you're probably like, holy shit, how do you end up with that much money?
You craft and you sell housing items, guys, or you sell things for people to craft things with.
Usually, like, if you don't have a crafter or a gatherer, then you're going to be like buying stuff that the crafters and gatherers use with your tomes.
Either way, it's crafter and gatherer related in some way.
Yeah, but I think it was our listener Alshalot who was raking in the gil to get those mats. So that's
if you
awesome.
don't craft, like even just like the crystals that just sit in your inventory, and you're like, what are these things for? They don't actually take up inventory space. They've got their own little like compartment. Sell those. Yeah,
you actually surprisingly end up with a lot of those. They don't sell for a ton, but when you're selling 1,000 at a time,
they sell more than they do. They make more selling than they do sitting in your inventory doing nothing. So if you're not going to use them.
And pretty much at the beginning of patches is when you want to sell a bunch of shit, because that's when everyone is buying.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like all the mounts that just came from the restoration of Ishgard fits, they sold a lot for that first day, and then after that, they just keep on dropping in price.
Because you get so many of them.
Always at the better of patches, and don't forget to gather your map every day.
Speaking of mounts, the new what was the deer? I know that's not what it's called, but like the
antelope.
The antelope mount, I actually think it's really cool, but when your character rides it, it looks wrong.
Kind of derpy.
And I realized pretty quickly what it was actually. As a Viera, my character has really long legs, so you're sitting on it and your knees are bent, hanging down the side, and then it starts to run and your knees are still just bent and hanging down the side, which would not be feasible to hold on to a mount that moves like that. And I genuinely think if they had just adjusted the character legs so that the knees went in slightly and the feet went up when it ran, it would have been a beautifully designed mount and it would have felt right. But because you just like, you sit on it like a Ken doll stuck on like the freaking horse that you get, and because Ken's legs kind of bent better than Barbie's, and it looks like he's gonna like tip off at any moment, like, and that's what it looks like. I feel like my hands are sitting on the butt of that freaking thing, just going, and she's just like about to fall off at any moment.
Yeah,
sorry,
I don't think
tangent.
gazelles are meant to be ridden.
But it's still like if her knees had like tucked in and her feet went back, it would have felt like, okay, we're moving now. Like it would have just been more than like a Ken doll sitting on a fucking horse that was meant for Barbie, which is what it feels like to me.
All right, there you go, Square Enix. Take whatever tips you can from that.
I just thought it was like a really pretty mount, and it was very like elegant and graceful. It's a gazelle. I thought that was going to be perfect for my Viera. They have like a similar build, and instead it's just like it's not.
Is this why you have insomnia? Is this what keeps you up all night thinking?
No,
gazelle mounts.
No, this was pretty immediate. Like the Ken doll thing actually just came to me, but the rest of it, yeah. I wish that's what kept me up.
All right, well now everyone knows where you can go get those new golden mounts. That's your Greenleaf Minute. Now for every Avi's favorite segment, it's the tweet of the week. It is the tweet of the week, and this one is from Chili, who says, well, we had a channel point reward to turn me into a row for a week. And here we are. Was waiting till after the raid with She Heals I Tank before I tweeted, is he a sexy tall boy? And yes, if you guys caught any of either our stream during Raid or one of Chili's streams, you might have been shocked when you saw a Chili as a giant Rogadin. He grew up from a potato into a Rogadin.
So I actually hadn't seen him until yesterday when we logged on for Raid, and he still has his Alpha No glamour on, so it's like a giant, like the biggest, burliest male row you can be, and I see Alpha No's hair like right in the middle of the screen, and I was so confused. And I was like, Chili became a big boy. I'm like, oh, what happened? And then Paul is now a cat boy, and he was always a femro, so now he's this tiny little cat boy. It's funny.
Cater says, everyone knows Lalas are just Rogadin seeds.
It felt like that. It felt like somebody had like plugged a bike pump into Chili, and they're like, and that was what they got.
He ate his vegetables and went from Popopo to daddy, just like that.
He's a daddy, all right, but with an Alpha No hairstyle, which I don't know how daddy that feels, but it gives you something to hold on to, so there's that.
I'm sure Estinian will call him daddy. All right, let's get to news and notes from around the realm. Avi, Square Enix is pleased to announce a new screenshot sweepstakes for the amazing players. That's right, that's you. This time, they'd like you to head out, or rather in, for a trek inside your personal favorite in-game dungeon. Let them see your best snapshots. You don't have to be good, because it's going to be a random selection of 200 winners.
So legitimately just go in there and take a screenshot and be like, done.
Yeah. If all you want is a chance, just
for this super awesome prizes.
You don't have long, though. You only have until Tuesday, May 4th at 8 a.m. What you're going to need to do for this is follow the Final Fantasy XIV official Twitter account. Take a screenshot of your character in your favorite location using the in-game group pose function. The screenshot must include the text stickers, character name, date, time, and duty name.
So you can legitimately, you have to be in G-pose. Just do G-pose like the next expert roulette you run or something, and then be that dick who's like, I'm sorry guys, I'm in G-pose real quick in the middle of a fight or something, and be done. I love it.
I know they said it was like dungeon exploration, so I think it has to be in a favorite instance dungeon.
It does. I know. If I'm in my expert roulette, I'm in an instance dungeon.
I didn't hear expert.
If I do /G-pose, boom.
We've been
doing
a lot of
met.
Diamond X lately, so I was thinking of that.
Oh, it doesn't say you have to enter exploration mode. It doesn't say that in these notes, at least. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd know if you were in exploration mode or not.
Nemode, I know.
Nemode.
The Nemode.
She's the ruler of Ul'dah, Nemode.
That's how I like my pie.
But yeah, we will link to this on the show notes, so you can go check out all those amazing rules for you to read through.
And all the super unique, never heard of before rewards that you can get by entering.
Oh, yeah. They're all the same. Scarf of Wondrous Wit, Mandragora Choker, Noble Barding, Gala Cap, Bluebird Earring, and the Arimon Choker. And something they've added in more recently is the Strife hairstyle.
Which you cannot wear if you're a Viera or a Rothgar.
Which, spoiler alert, I think a lot of those items are going to be in the next Moogle Tombstone event.
Okay.
Just to make them even more worthless.
Oh, all of them. I thought you were like referring to like all those hairstyles that I can't wear, because my brain was already in that mode.
All of these that maybe you've never had the luck of winning a contest like me, even though I've never
legitimately
entered one.
Don't want any of these things. Like, that's what's so annoying is I would, if the prizes were something I wanted, I would actually enter, but none of those are my aesthetic in game. Not a single one.
What if winners got 1 million gil? Would you do it?
I'd be more likely to do it than I would for this.
Yeah.
Like,
Chili wants the cloud hairstyle and Gala Cap.
Of course you do. It's an adorable little fat cat sitting on your head. How more chilly can we get than that?
And the next thing we have is the schedule for FanFest has been released.
Well, but you didn't share the notes, so they're like, didn't they share that there's not going to be any people now? Like,
yeah, but that's later. That has nothing to do with what's going on there.
Okay. You didn't put any notes on this. I'm trying.
Day one is the keynote address. And that's going to be Final Fantasy producer and director Naoki Yoshida as he reveals new information.
What date is day one?
That is Friday, May 14th.
Okay. Thank you.
And then after that is going to be How Do You Like Heidelin? The Japanese community team will be sharing delightful insights into the world of Final Fantasy XIV live from the venue.
Adorable.
Then we have the dev panel, where you will be able to join members of the development team as they take us behind the scenes and showcase the work that goes into creating Final Fantasy XIV.
That one was always fun.
Yes, that one's a very cool one.
Yeah.
Then we have Welcome to Naoki's Room, where this is a segment where Yoshi P invites special guests over to chat. Who will join him this time?
I feel like you didn't read that right. It needs to be like, who will join him this time?
Then we have a piano performance. Reminisce on past adventures and enjoy the mesmerizing melodies of Final Fantasy XIV in this piano concert performed by Kiko.
That's different.
I'm not familiar with Kiko. It's usually Susan Calloway at the U.S. events, and I thought she traveled to Japan too, but maybe for all I know, this person could have sung like one of the main theme songs in Shadowbringers, and I just didn't know. Or maybe she's singing an intro to the newest expansion.
The image didn't actually show her with a microphone, Pete. It might just be she's a pianist.
It's a funny word, Avi.
It's a real word though.
What can we expect on day 2 of FanFest?
I just closed that link.
Well, that seems like a mistake on your part.
Oh, I didn't realize that was only day 1. Okay, day 2, I thought that was the whole thing. You get the letter from the producer live, part LXIV.
Come on, do some math.
Nope. You get day 2, Glamour to Life Showcase, which is where they're going to showcase a bunch of images, essentially. So this is when you go to the bathroom from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Come on, don't you want to see everyone's glamours?
No, because this is the one where you can be part of this if you just put ears on. So it's not the same as like the actual like finalists entries. I don't know.
They're only going to show the good ones.
I don't know that. Just saying. They've got the live Q&A from 10:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, from where Yoshi P will be answering questions gathered from the Warrior's Light around the globe. He may even let some secret details slip. This is worth watching, but I do have to forewarn you, if you have not ever watched one of these, 80% of the time is going to be, why did you waste his time with that question? You seriously were able to submit a question to Yoshi P and you asked him about that? 80% of it, promise. Next is going to be Flashback with the Cast from 11:45 to 1 a.m., where members of the 14 voice cast look back at key moments from the game, and then Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire?
Look at them, ripping off Leonardy.
That is pretty, yeah. Play along with they're like, that is pretty freaking
Someone
punny.
owes him some royalties.
That's some punny. Play along with the Western community team and 14 content creators as they team up and face off in a fun trivia game show. He should legitimately get some credit for that because he came up with that name. Like, that's just saying. And then, of course,
let's be honest, lots of people have come up with that.
The band performance is from 2:30 a.m. till 3:50 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or data time, whatever the freaking heck you want to call it, where it's going to be exhilarating tracks from 14 and relive your moments for triumph in this live performance by the Primals, which you'll be watching online.
Yep, and there will be special guests. They have some voice actors coming in. Then the band The Primals will be there, and Kiko as the before-mentioned pianist. Funny word, Abby.
It's a real word, you jerk face.
Yeah, so as I think on day 2, there's going to be the stage event where Naoki Yoshida answers questions posed by players across the globe. I thought this was cool because they're going to do it on Zoom.
Oh, so the people get to actually ask it?
Like, ask the questions.
That does improve it, because if you're going to ask a shitty question, I get to see your face. Like, that somehow helps me.
So unfortunately, since we were gone for a couple of weeks, the time to submit your questions has passed. But yeah, you're going to have the nerve to get on Zoom and ask Yoshida.
They're gonna let you you can have your camera turned off. That I feel like you should be required to turn your camera on for that. Like, I don't know.
Feel like you should be required to say your full name and address.
No, I just wanted, like, I think it'd be cute to see people like cosplaying and stuff and then ask it. Like, but like if you're gonna have your question asked, like, one of the things is you better show up
so we know who to shame.
I don't know. It's just it's so much better that way.
And it just adds to, like, making it feel more
Feels like a real player.
a real, and just like a real fan fest, like an
Yeah.
in-person fan fest.
Yeah, like, I don't know. The idea of seeing the person who's asking the question just felt so great. And if they don't even do it anyways, it's like, oh, well, what's the point of having Zoom then?
Oh, you know what they should have done? Something that they did at baseball stadiums during the pandemic. They'd put like they'd have people submit their pictures, and then they'd put like cardboard cutouts of them in the stands.
But the people could do that. I would be okay if someone did that. They're on the Zoom call, but they just have a cardboard cutout of themselves and their microphone's in the other room.
No, but I'm saying they should put that in the audience there, because I'm sure they still have like the auditorium and stuff.
I think the audience should be cardboard cutouts of all of the characters of 14 like that, in life size cutouts with like giant chocobos hanging out, and then the dragons like huge, but they're all there. They could have
done that with the Glamour to Life. Submit your photo, they make a little cardboard cutout, put you in the audience.
Oh, that would have been fun. But
that probably sell that for $5 and make a lot of money. For $5,
they would charge a lot more than $5.
You can get a cardboard cutout of yourself in audience at FanFest.
That's actually,
it's just like being there.
You should be in marketing, and then everyone will be like, okay, but make it 50, and then we'll do that. Awesome. All right. So, as I spoiled earlier, the in-person FanFest has been canceled. They would like to provide an update regarding the digital FanFest 2021 due to COVID situation in Japan. The Japanese government has chosen to enact another state of emergency for the Tokyo area. And in order to prioritize the safety and well-being of the community, performers, and staff, they've decided to forego arrangements for fans to attend the event in person, but will instead proceed without the live audience. So I actually, again, Pete and I are still of the mindset of good for you, protect
Better
people.
safe than sorry.
Yeah, sorry if you're bummed about this, but this is the right action to take.
When you're so close to getting over it, like, you don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah. So all stage events and digital activities will be carried out as originally planned, while following thorough safety guidelines for all of the participants. Stage events are still planned to be streamed as well, so be sure to join us from your home, as this will be our very first digital fan festival, which allows players around the globe to participate together. It definitely makes it fun, unique, and unforgettable.
And they are really looking for some content for this digital fan fest.
They didn't have a backup plan. They'd kind of adjusted to this kind of hybrid thing, and then they were like, ugh.
Well, now there's another contest for Estates of the Realm, and it's another digital activity for the community to participate at FanFest. And I know you're trying to replace the games that you play while you're there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to me to see how many people really enjoy this or not.
I think there have been housing events in the past.
Events or contests?
Not contests.
Yeah.
I think the only one I can actually think of was a holiday one, which I put a lot of work into, and I felt like people who just added Christmas trees to their already decorated houses actually got chosen, and that was a little upset because I decorated a room specifically for it. I'm not butthurt, but it was the only one I put effort into, and I was I thought for sure I'd be at least one of the top 200s. But anyways, so in this event, they like you to show off all the hard work you've put into decorating your rooms and estates, which they ask you to snap some screenshots of your apartment and or private chambers and or estate. Craft a tweet, not just write it, but you need to craft your tweet, which will include your character name, home world, and its location, as well as including the hashtag FFIXV FanFest and hashtag Estates of the Realm, and attach your beauty shots of your living residence and tweet it out for everyone to enjoy and judge. And the phrase that goes along with this is, do you have a cafe or boutique themed room or estate? How about a photo studio set up for people to come by and take glamour shots?
Don't you have something like that, Avi?
Well, we want to see all kinds of creations, so show off the hard work you put into designing your home away from home with players around the world. If you enjoy visiting other players' homes, then this is the perfect chance to expand your horizons and see the amazing work being done and get some inspiration too while just looking on Twitter. I might have added that last bit.
And asterisk, we may also share some of the amazing tweets we come across by retweeting on the official 14 Twitter account or by showcasing them in future community streams. So be sure to participate. We look forward to seeing your creation.
Okay, so I do have to say, so our basement is a photo studio.
Glamour shots.
It's a glamour shot photo studio area. But by asking for this, do you realize that if I sent screenshots of our glamour shot area, they would be like the lamest photos ever?
It looks stupid when you're just doing like an overshot of
Yeah.
everything. You have to be actually in them.
When you're in them, it looks amazing. When you're not in them, it's like, why do you have all these weird walls that are like different colored spaces in your basement just taking up space and making it awkward? Oh, when I'm in it and I do the thing with the stuff, cool.
All right.
I'm in a weird mood. I'm sorry.
I'm going to make sure we don't make the same mistake we did last week. And thankfully,
We weren't recording last week, so what did we do?
or last episode.
Okay.
And chat has reminded me that Chili is on deck. So let's get into live on air. Let's see what Chili has for us tonight. Chili, how are you doing?
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping I could just sit here and see what happens.
You're just like freaking playing with fire.
You wanted to make fun of us again. Chili, how are you
Ignore
doing?
me.
You don't ignore me, but no, I'm not bad, thank you. I was listening, so it's fine. Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Did you have any thoughts on FanFest?
I'm really hyped for the live lair, but most of the stuff apart from the concert, I'm not that excited for. I'll probably watch the Who Wants to Be a Gillionaire, again copyrighted by your friend. But it's such a. I know I don't sleep much, and it's a whole meme that I don't sleep, but it's still like 2 a.m. till midday for me for the actual live letter event. So
Well, and you'll be able to watch it online. I'm sure they'll post it to YouTube, or you can watch them on Twitch. You know,
yeah,
like
you should be able to watch like most of the stage stuff. I think the music will not be available later, so you'll have to watch the Primals and Kiko live,
which is fair. So Chili's that's what you're saying. You're like, yeah, I'll watch those. The rest I will watch after I've had some, tea and a little bit of food.
Tea and crumpets.
Yeah. What I've wanted for ages is hot cross buns. I haven't had one for ages.
Those are a bitch to make, yeah.
Well, no, I just buy them.
That's why I get it, because you don't make those at home.
Yeah, I'm sure they're better homemade. I mean, everything's better homemade, but I'm lazy, so
No shame.
So
I'm just cooking. I'm just cooking for me. So.
No, dude. Pete and I tend to just cook for ourselves because I don't eat vegan, and he doesn't eat not vegan.
Great content.
I know, right?
Chili. So the keynote address. Do you think that's going to be mostly about 6.0?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the live layer, which we'll talk about 5.5 part 2, which comes out. Where is it?
It's supposed to be end of May, right?
25th.
Mm.
Because the live layer is live layer is the 26th, so that'd be a roughly 2-week gap between the live layer and Hatch. And they did say late May. I'm giving my reason because otherwise people might say I'm like leaking something, even though I'm just guessing.
Yes,
but
this is a guess.
They always say you're leaking something. It doesn't matter what you say, Chili. It's a leak. So.
Yeah.
All right, Chili. Do you want to leak what the new job's going to be?
I mean, fine. I don't know what the job name's going to be, but we all know it's going to be some sort of Scythe user. I've seen like the leaked Scythe image, so Scythe using Xenos. I don't think it's going to be a Reaper though.
No,
it might have it's going to be some sort of Scythe user. I don't think they're going to use the word Reaper because I think it feels too dark for Final Fantasy 14.
You mean after you were the warrior of darkness?
Night.
We were just the warrior of darkness.
Dark Knight isn't Reaper. There's a difference.
I know, but it's
one
still
is
dark.
You said dark. Does it get darker than Dark Knight?
Reaper is a little bit darker when you come to the actual.
Teasing you, Chili.
Yeah, the same reason for Necromancer. I wouldn't.
See, I think Necromancer comes across as darker than Reaper. Like a Reaper in itself isn't actually dark. The Grim Reaper is dark. A Reaper, you can reap the benefits of something. Like it's not. I don't know. Like a Reaper isn't necessarily dark unless you associate it with darker elements.
Yeah.
saying.
But because we know it's a melee class, but we haven't really got a lot of magic classes, really. I'm personally hoping, I've been saying this a lot, that it works like a reverse red mage.
What does that mean?
You know how
everything's out of balance.
Yeah, like you want to stay out of balance? Like, what does that mean, Chili?
Like how red mage has the magic combo and end with physical. I want this to have a physical combo that ends with magical.
Oh, you just want to be a backwards red mage.
Yeah,
backwards.
Reverse red mage.
Opposite, no, backwards, yeah. Because it'd be hilarious if you like your intent was to like overuse one side or the other of the magic abilities and like yeah.
I don't know what I think about that because basically it's the same thing, just reversed, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool concept. It'll be interesting to see what they do with the scythe user, the reaper of wheat.
Yeah.
As Kiki said.
Reaper's actually just what they're renaming botanist.
Yeah.
I mean, this botanists have been using a scythe like this entire time.
Finally, botanist will be a main job,
just like
1.0.
6.0. He's like totally changed gears. He's no longer about world domination.
I mean, he's the one who brought us the flowered garden.
Killing us. Yes, he's just going to plant flowers for us.
And then show us how to cut them down with the scythe and then make these beautiful bouquets.
I'm here for that
he
story.
He does love us.
It'll be surprising.
He just wanted
that's
to give
for
you
sure.
all the flowers.
I mean, we took his flower, right?
He wishes.
I think he still has his flower.
He wishes. Yeah, we had a whole episode about that. KK's like, beast confirmed. Xenos is going to get a pet.
I still feel like we're going to see Beastmaster sooner rather than later.
I feel like Beastmaster would be a limited job. I don't see them adding that as a full job.
No. It's going to be a limited job because they want to do a limited roulette.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you're going to do a limited roulette, you need to add additional limited jobs. Logically. Yeah. Just saying. All right.
Anything else to add about FanFest, Chili? Or maybe you want to say what your favorite piece of content from 5.5 has been so far?
I do want to bring up one thing. Not about FanFest, but about something else that's going on in North America soon.
Sure.
Remember, if you buy Butterfingers from May 3rd to June 20th, I think it is.
We're not there yet.
Moogle Go Around Radio gets $1.
Okay, good. So you're bringing it up. I just wanted to make
It's legitimately like the next bit we're talking about.
You can talk.
You can do it though.
Okay.
Give it, Chili. You can't read it. Let's see how much you get and if you miss anything. Go.
Okay, May 3rd to June 20th, I think it was. If you spend $5 worth of Butterfingers and submit the picture, there's a receipt to a certain website you got to send to. I didn't check the website.
No, you got to give us the website, Chili. You got to know this. You're going to do it. You got to know it all.
I mean, the website's probably blocked for me because region locks.
Pete just might have typed it in
it's
chat.
A choco. Who typed it in chat? There we go. GameWithButterfingers.com/ENUS/post promo.
It'll be in the show notes.
It'll be in the show notes, supposedly. And you get an adorable Choco Capora, I probably said that wrong, mount that has love hearts go around it when you fly and makes weird bong sounds.
Is adorable the right word? Because it looks,
a poop mount.
Looks like it's been drenched in shit.
It's adorable. I love it.
It looks like your dog shit on it because it's a plant in your garden and you're like picking the cute plant that is now covered in dog diarrhea.
It kind of looks like an anal bead that fell off. You know
and
what I mean?
Want it.
upon exit.
It's a bit of dingleberry.
I mean, if your dingleberries have little ribbons and hearts around it, then you've got an impressive dingleberry.
It's a lovey dingleberry. It loves you so much. It was shared, and I hadn't even talked to Pete. He typed the dingleberry comment, and this is the shit podcast, and I was like, I saw it, and I was like, it looks like a poop mount. Like, if you're gonna give me a poop mount, just make it the frickin' puddle. Give me like a puddle or mount or the goop, the pudding. I'm sorry, not puddle, but pudding. The pudding mount. It started with the same 4 words. You know, letters.
And Disco Cup, you can give it to like a charity, I guess. Like, go Mr. Beast style, buy an entire box of Butterfingers, and then go to like a homeless shelter and give them the box.
Cisco said, "Who can I donate all of the Butterfingers to? I find them gross."
Me, I actually really like Butterfingers. Oh my god, if you guys ever come across the sorry, Chili, I know you're Mr. Can't eat them, but Butterfinger made like a Reese's peanut butter cup thing, but it was filled with like peanut butter and Butterfinger crispy inside bit, and it's like the best candy. It's better than Butterfingers, and it's better than Reese's. They somehow like magically made a baby, and I can never find them, but they're so good. Anyways,
butter pieces.
KK had one. Yep, they're good. They're really good.
Isn't Butterfinger like a super messy chocolate bar? Doesn't
no,
that stuff
those are
in
the
the
ones...
center just shatter?
No, more than that, it like sticks in your teeth so hard that you like it's that you don't have the spiky bits on your teeth anymore. They just like become flat. Like you're gumming everything after that.
Yeah, my last Butterfinger was over a decade ago.
It sounds a bit like a Curly Whirly, really.
Okay.
A Curly Whirly will do that to you in England.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, I'm gonna trust you, but that sounds like a swirly, like something you would have done to you as a nerd in high school. Like, I got a Curly Whirly today.
Now, Curly Whirly here is they've got like it's called that because the chocolate is like a weird pan. Like all in curls, and it's filled with really sticky toffee in the middle.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Made by Cadbury.
Yeah.
Yummy.
It would make no sense.
But the names are amazing.
Ignore my Space Invaders. my Bounty Bar.
What I think that for not to total go on tangent, but the difference in British food and like American food for me is all of the dried fruits that you guys use in your desserts. Like we are like dried fruits are like ugh, nah. I don't want raisins. I don't want dried those nasty neon pink and green cherry things that people sometimes buy. Like we don't actually eat that. And then you're like, yes, let's add some more dried fruits to it. It'll be better.
It adds natural sugars and flavor.
I agree, but you know. And it makes you poop more because there's so much more fiber in it.
Jesus.
I don't know.
And pooping is good for you. Just like this podcast. Go check out.
Unless you poop too much, then it's bad for you.
Yeah, it's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should put fresh fruit in it. All right, sorry, Pete.
Where this was the crossover episode with the sound bites.
The Snack Side podcast. Go check it out.
Well,
Disco Cup. Wait, you know what also adds natural sugar? Sugar.
The problem is in America you don't add sugar, you add chemical sugar.
Yeah, unless you're making it at home. Make it at home. Go real sugar. True. That might have fake sugar added, but we don't know because our labels don't say.
High fructose corn syrup. And you'll like it.
Sorry for that little jab.
Oh, we always appreciate you, Chili. It's so true. No, it was funny. It was a double jab. We jabbed each way.
Yeah, I got to go to Mexico if I want my real sugar Coke.
I mean, they sell them at 7-Eleven. Do you want me to go get you a Mexican Coke?
I like to go to TJ for it.
Look, I used to go to there was a store in my town that used to sell American drinks, and I used to buy Mountain Dew there because they'd import it, and they had to slowly stop because they could only sell it from a warehouse that already had it because the corn syrup was illegal. So they had to try and smuggle Mountain Dew from the States over to sell it.
Black market Mountain Dew.
The only soda that I've really legitimately known people to be addicted to is Mountain Dew. Yeah. And then the Code Red Mountain Dew came out, and I had friends who would like keep 12 packs. Like it was always next to their computer desks, actually, not even chilled, just 12 packs of Code Red Mountain Dew.
I think at one point I was paying like $3 a can, so about $5.
Holy hell, dude!
That's an addiction.
Sounds like a problem right there. Yeah, Chili.
That's how much the Arizona stuff sold for as well. Arizona's was like £2.50 a can.
Oh, jeez. Arizona was like known for being like the cheapest thing possible here.
It was like the biggest can for like less than $1. It was like 99 cents for like the can that was the size of 2.5 cans.
Yeah, it says 99 cents on it, and it was you could buy 2 for £5.
You're like, that's not fair.
Still bought it.
Yeah, valid. If you like it, you like it. Just treat yourself. Yeah.
All right, Chili, one more time. If people really love this soundbite segment, where can they hear more?
You can find Soundbites over on Anchor at Soundbites. You can also find me over at twitch.tv/MuggleGrabRamRadio. But really, to be honest, just stay here. It's better. Bye.
No, you actually gave your show name. I'm proud of you.
Right.
You didn't like hang up and be like, you should go to.
Look, we've got to like 100 and something episodes now. I should really at least shout. Oh yeah, the one chip challenge episode where I was in a lot of pain. Go listen to that.
Was the time you fell out of the chair sound bit too? Because that was, or is that you guys gaming? Pete loves that. Sorry.
No,
that was me gaming.
That was just you gaming. Sorry, I love you, Chili.
Well, that was a podcast, but yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chili.
No worries. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of the episode.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right. With that, we've got
I want a Butterfinger.
Teaching me lore. I don't know if I'll actually know any shit afterwards, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And if I get it wrong, I'm going to learn.
If you get it wrong, you're going to go to 7-Eleven and get me a Butterfinger after this. The show brought to you by 7-Eleven.
I don't buy Butterfingers.
You will for your wife. All right. So this question was actually provided by Dr. Delicious, who just showed up in chat. And this question is, how did the pudding-type enemy come into being? The big pile of poo. A, accidentally made in an unfortunate culinarian accident. B, developed as a punching bag for monks' training. C, created as a child's plaything. Or D, sewed as a receptacle for adolescent Eorzean males.
That's gross.
It made you laugh.
Did you just call pudding a cum rag?
Did you?
I don't know.
I didn't write this question. Dr. Delicious did.
I feel like the cooking one makes sense to me. Like I've maybe heard that before.
It's not Asians? I should have added or E Asians.
I wouldn't put it past them Asians. I feel like I definitely done all the culinarian quests. I don't quite remember that, but for some reason that one makes sense to me.
I get how that makes sense.
What's the other ones?
You punch it as a monk,
That seems wrong.
or you play with it as a child, or you in it as an adolescent.
Make some time with it. I guess I'm gonna go with the culinarian.
So you're gonna go get me some Butterfingers after this, huh?
No.
Ding 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 ding.
Are they cum rags?
Yes, they are not cum rags. No, they were actually originally created as a children's plaything. It didn't go well.
That's not a coolest story as like some culinarian experiment gone wrong.
I mean, it's a Amortian. I don't know how to say it. It was a side quest where he's trying to test his new toy for children, and he's trying to make a new toy for children, and then instead creates a giant poop monster.
Wait, you knew this, or the person who submitted this question told you?
I actually do remember this quest. I do remember them like going, I just made this toy for children. Oh no, what happened? Like it's not intentional. So what you had hoped had happened is actually what happened, just not with the culinarian.
Yeah, I think culinarian would have been better though. That's why I picked it. It's the better story.
You only think it's better because that's the one you would have gotten. You wouldn't have owed me a Butterfinger for.
I didn't owe you a Butterfinger for shit.
You owe me a Butterfinger.
I'm with, I believe it was Esper said, why can't they put that stuff into something more healthy? Why can't we buy an apple? Get a apple mount.
I'll make you a Butterfinger salad.
I don't eat Butterfingers.
You can eat everything around it. No? I think that's a fair compromise. Buy me a Butterfinger. Or even better, if you find those Butterfinger cups, man. Oof. Ooh, you want to make your wife happy? Show up with that and a bottle of wine. Good day.
That's all it takes, gents. Bottle of wine.
And the Butterfinger peanut butter cups.
Peanut butter cups.
Those are hard to find.
Then you're in, baby.
Democasi's still stuck on Butterfinger salad. I didn't say it was going to have lettuce. I mean, like, salad is a very loose term now these days.
Got jelly beans on the side.
Yeah, it's a dessert salad. All right, so we're going to do some discussion.
Yeah, and like I kind of mentioned at the beginning, we haven't had a ton of time to play patch 5.5 yet. I was on vacation. You had a friend in from New York. We were busy.
Well, I got my second vaccine shot and then felt like
then
ass.
You were like death.
Yeah.
You were like a reaper. I saw the Grim Reaper hovering over you.
Yeah.
But we have done some stuff, and even though we haven't played that much, I feel like we actually got a decent amount of stuff done. The first thing we did was the new 24-man Alliance raid. And before I judge this one too quickly, I'm going to have to do this again. I haven't done it since day one.
I was going to say the same thing, actually.
This is my day one reaction. This is not my final assessment. That being said, I think this one suffered from the same thing the 24-man raids have been suffering from for a long time. The fights being too easily recoverable from.
There was a lot of a back and forth conversation in our Discord about this, and it was almost like we actually all agreed, but finding the right way to phrase what we agreed on was what was hard about it, about the conversation. That's a hard thing to even discuss. Like I said, the conversation went back and forth and back and forth. And I think it came down to what it was is I was unhappy with where the threshold of survival was. So like they made it too easy to survive the fight with like minimal skill set.
Yeah.
And so, like, you could have a third of the alliance alive and still beat the fight.
Yeah, that's what my problem is.
It shouldn't be that many people. The level should be higher than that, in my opinion. I honestly think you should have needed a minimum like 60% of the alliance, preferably like 75% of the alliance alive for the majority of the fight in order to beat it. And that was not necessary for these fights. And so, like, if you're in a party who has a new healer and then another healer whose internet is crap, your party's just going to stay dead the entire time.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Whenever a third, 66% of your alliance dies, like the whole alliance, 2 full groups die, that should automatically be a wipe.
Yeah.
We should start over, we learn that mechanic, and then we progress. They made it too easily where if there is a big mechanic, there's nothing to really follow up on that mechanic. It's like, okay, now this is your recovery time.
I think that's why neither of us have gone back into it, because we had that first experience that was so...
I've just been busy.
Well, I was just like, it was so bad that it made me not want to go back. And the gear isn't... I'm not gearing any alts at the moment. I have no reason to go there but glamour, and I didn't love the glamour enough to like really farm it hard personally. But... I was so miserable because we had like that scenario I stated where we had a brand new healer who didn't really know what they were doing and another healer who was like, my connection is crap. So no matter how much, and no other rezzers in the entire alliance other than healers. So no matter
that was crazy.
What we did, yeah, we were dead for most of the run, and it was not fun, obviously.
That's probably the craziest stat we've had for a while though. Notice every time you guys go into an alliance raid, let me know the next time you get an alliance raid where none of the DPS have the res ability.
No red mages, no summoners, like nothing. But it was frustrating because we were dead for so long that it was like, well, I don't even get an opportunity to learn the fight. They were able to survive the fight with me stuck dead, like I'm learning the fight. It's my first time in there, but in my opinion, you shouldn't have moved on to the boss with that many people sitting there dead.
Yeah. And, our experience is probably an outlier. Probably doesn't happen too often, especially getting a group with no extra DPS healer to help out,
but the fact that people can stay dead that long.
But it's a problem that, if 2/3 of everyone in there dies, one group shouldn't be able to carry the raid.
The reason I was so upset about this is new 24-man raids. The first 3 weeks of a new 24-man raid are honestly my favorite content in the game, period. That is my favorite time to play 14. So the fact that I haven't gone in again says how bad our first experience was.
Yeah, and I think that's just something you got to get over, though. It's the first day. And yeah, it's not tuned right, but next time going in, it'll probably be better.
That was a little fuck you response to you saying that to me like that. Just so you know, you just got to get over it. And I acknowledge that it was my first time going in, But the game has already been kind of fallen off for me, so this is not the right time to have that happen. So
everything's coming up, Avi. But yeah, so that was on the very first fight. 2 groups died. 1 group was able to carry us through
the entire raid.
Yeah, that pattern repeated for most of the other encounters. Maybe not quite to the extent of 2 full groups being down, but it got pretty close at times. The best fight my first time through was the last one. I thought that one had the most fun and interesting mechanics. I thought it was really cool, that thing on the bottom that came up. It was like a building shooting up the...
I think that's when our other healer's internet got slightly better, so that we were actually able to stay alive for that one.
This fight was the coolest one visually, in my opinion. That was the fight I had the most fun with.
I liked the red girls. I thought that one was pretty cool.
The red girls was kind of cool. I did like the little jump scare they put into that fight as well. But like I said, my final judgment on the 24-man raids will be reserved when I've had enough time to go through it a few more times. As for the story, to be honest, I just didn't care.
KK still makes fun of me for this, by the way. KK McLeod, our moderator extraordinaire, still makes fun of me because I actually hadn't realized that I hadn't finished the story at the end of the last 24-man raid. So I spent an hour and a half looking for... What the fuck was that? Tataru? I wanted to say Totoro, and then I went Totoro, and then the Konog. Fucking Konog. I spent an hour and a half wondering where the fuck Konog was. And for the first time in my Final Fantasy XIV gaming experience, skipped cutscenes. I've
feels good, doesn't it?
I never
come to the dark side.
Ever skipped cutscenes. I was mad. And I was exhausted, and I was so sick of it. And I just started skipping them. Because I was trying to get it done in time to work with my raid group, and then they didn't understand why I was mad when others didn't have it fully unlocked. I was a little upset. But yeah. It was
They're long.
Fun.
They're long, and they're kind of
tedious.
boring, in my opinion.
They were very tedious.
I didn't even have to go back that far, but when I was doing it, I'm like, really? We're going to the elevator, we're going down, and then we're going over. When we could have just gone down, we're just getting fucking meat or whatever, some shit It was a fetch quest.
A lot of fetch quests. It was all fetch quests. It's like, oh, we go to this point. Oh, he's not here. Oh, yeah. She's not here. Oh, she's not here. Maybe if you go back where you started from, you might find her there. Oh, fuck you.
And the thing that we fucking gathered in this latest one, like, we knocked on a guy's door to give it to him. They didn't want it, and that was it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, we didn't even use this shit.
It was... Sorry, guys. We were not happy with this one. And it's so sad to me because, like I said, 24-mans was always my, like...
I still enjoy the fights. Like, I think the fights I'm going to end up liking a lot more once I do them some more. The overall aesthetic of the place got a little boring after a while. I wish it would have changed up a little bit.
Yeah, I wish it had changed up.
But
it was novel at first, and then it was not novel anymore.
Now I'm tired of the same color.
Yeah.
Since the beginning, it's been a story that just hasn't grabbed me, and... Combine that with making me wait so long between the next episode for all intents and purposes.
See, I was okay with it before. I was like, I get that this isn't supposed to be as like involved a story. It's just kind of fun. You run around with them. But this last bit for me was just like, I want to chop your little toes off and make meat out of them. Like, I was not happy.
I think I kind of followed Crystal Tower originally, even with how much time we had in between. But pretty much everyone after that, I just haven't enjoyed the story of the 24-man raids. I didn't really care about Evil East, even though I have to probably go back and understand that one a little more because it's leading into other things. But yeah, the story for the 24-man raids, I haven't been that big of a fan of. The fights themselves, I usually am a fan.
Yep.
I just think they need to be tweaked a little bit, especially once they go into like.
It was just too survivable.
The roulette, because then the level sync is too high and you can just cheese everything.
I'm okay with them making it easier at that point, but with them starting with it easier and so survivable from the beginning was just it was too much for me personally.
I think in 6.0 they said they're adjusting like the whole stat crunch or whatever.
Yes.
So
the numbers.
Hopefully those add mechanics back to the fights that you actually have to do. Hopefully we're not killing stuff so quickly in the old raids, because that was my biggest problem.
Yeah, those are a face roll.
Whenever you don't have to actually do mechanics anymore, you have to tune that fight back up, baby. But yeah, I'm actually excited to do these fights again. Even though our experience wasn't amazing that first time, it didn't put me off like it put you off from it.
It put me off in the same way that the special announcement did. It was legitimately the one thing that I was like, if anything's gonna save my disappointment from the special announcement, it's gonna be the first 3 weeks of me enjoying the 24-man raid. And I was like, fuck you. So it was just bad for me personally. And I get that that's me personally. So and not everyone feels the way I do, and I'm special. It's fine.
Yeah, that's just our opinions, man. And if you want to get your opinion, you can always climb on deck. We'll
Call
bring
in
you
and tell us how wrong we are, how bitter I am.
If you want to say how much you loved it and we're a bunch of dum-dums for not loving it, you can tell us that. Other piece of content we did was a diamond weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike the
diamond weapon, the story, and then the extreme version.
Yeah, unlike the Alliance raid, the story for this has been more up my alley, and I pretty much remembered most of it, even if I didn't like some things that they did in it. Again, they didn't do what I was hoping for. I thought it was time for Gaius to die. I think the daughter should have died as well. But let's talk about the story first before we get too deep into my bloodlust.
So spoilers ahead if you have not done Diamond Weapon yet.
Yes. Gaius's daughter is in the pilot's chair of Diamond Weapon, and she's going to turn it on Valens, a.k.a. Lord Farquaad. He tries to shut it down like he has control, or the scientist has control of it.
I knew you were pretending to turn for me, but you were really still turned for them. Yeah. And so you can't turn against me because I know the turn was coming, and so now I'm going to turn against you.
Can't be a double agent on me.
Yeah, basically.
But she's still able to control it even after he shuts it down.
Due to a familiar... So she cries, and her tear falls into it, and it's because... they used her brother to build like the CPU essentially, and they figure out that like having a living entity be part of the machine.
That's what made it so it like didn't kill the
pilot your story version of this Pete cut out like kind of all the important bits. Like that's like what's important.
Because I knew we would talk about it.
Oh, okay. And so she cries. Her DNA essentially goes into the diamond weapon, which is partially her brother, her adopted brother. And they sort of sync, and he kind of like awakens in a partial sort of way to essentially work with her / protect her.
Yeah, so at this point, after she regains control and shoots Valens, like, don't really know how he survived this first shot either, but he's not really dead, but she shoots him and flies off. At this point, it seems like she has full control over Diamond Weapon. Unless I miss something here.
Well, and as KK just said it perfectly, anime tears make robots work.
So maybe chat can let me know. At this point, I feel like she has full control over it. But let me know if I'm wrong, because I don't know why we're still fighting Diamond Weapon if she has control of it.
That was my big confusion. Well, that's what I brought up to Pete as well. I was like, So she tried to kill him. It didn't work out. She's escaping, and then we attack her, and then we get in a fight with her. And I was like, that doesn't line up. So I feel like there's a big story gap there.
Like, did we have no communication? Could she not have just like stopped and like, whoa,
white flag, guys. It's me. I've taken control of the diamond weapon. I'm on your side. I feel like. Logically, based on the story that was going on, like that's what should have happened, but they wanted to give us our fight, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, just so we come to us, be like, "Hey, it's me, Diamond Weapon. Right. Let's go kill Valens. I literally have all this weaponry.
I have all this weaponry. I'm back with you guys. I tried to kill him, it didn't work, but now we can team up together."
Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have liked that story, but
no, but it would have made more sense at least than the direction they went, and then we ended up fighting the diamond weapon, and it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so let us know why exactly we're fighting.
If you understood, if there wasn't a gap for you in the story, I'd love to hear it, because to me that was, I get that like we attacked it first. Okay, say there was lack of communication at that point, and then her brother is say just protecting her, and the diamond weapon essentially goes into autopilot, and
that's what I was wondering,
protecting her from us.
Was there something piloting it other than her, whether it be her brother or if it was like, made with the Xenos personality. Was that running the thing?
Because it was us, but like I feel like that element isn't something we should not understand. KK just sent us a trash cat.
So yeah, chat's not saying
no one's
whether
saying
they
anything.
know anything or not. So
everybody's
maybe
on the same page as us.
Tweet us, email us if you guys know something. Otherwise, is this a plot hole?
Or what's that? So what do you think about the fight, Pete?
Let's finish with this story really quick. We fight the diamond weapon. Shocker, we win. Back on the ground, we find Diamond Weapon and Valens, who didn't die in the previous explosion. Gaius is also there and has a duel with Valens, and it was kind of cool. But the best part of the story is that Diamond Weapon picks up Valens and gives him a little squish that probably broke every bone in his torso.
That was the best part of the story?
He spits up the blood and dies. 10 out of 10 on that death. I love that.
It was a good death.
Had no problem with that.
Yeah.
Gaius' daughter stumbles out of Diamond Weapon. Turns out her brother had been absorbed into it, and that's how she was able to pilot it without it killing her. She lives, missing some memories, but very much alive.
She's alive, but she's broken.
Gaius picked his leader to help rebuild that town.
Oh my God, Pete, your notes for the rest of this. It's just like straight. So then they do have a moment where she's giving back her memories.
Yeah, she starts to get back her memory.
No, she's given them back.
Okay, she's given them back.
By her brother who saved her.
That's right.
Oh
I was already disappointed in the story.
To me, that was the best part of the story, was that she lost it, and then the way she was giving back her memories and like that emotional connection there was probably the best.
You're
part.
all about that cheesy bullshit.
Well, like if she's gonna live, like it was kind of one of those things that was the most pure moment.
See, to me, if she's gonna live, I want her to actually do something. I want them to use her and forward her story.
Well, she's the way that all of those who died continue to live on. And so through her, and because she lost her memories, they wouldn't continue to live on because she didn't even remember them. And so she can do something. The difference is, will 14 actually do anything with her?
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to keep someone alive,
you can't complain about that yet because they haven't done that with her. They haven't done nothing with her yet. I know, like previous experiences show that they won't do anything with her.
This is what I'm saying. I'm like, are you going to use her? If you're going to use her, if you're going to progress the story,
more than her, they need to use Gaius.
Yeah.
If they saved Gaius and they do nothing with him after this, that is when that is a waste, because Gaius, his story would have been so much stronger if he'd have died to save her. And so Gaius living
to save her, to save the town that he once
sacrificed himself for his wrongdoings. That would have been a much stronger story. Even if the Ellison guy who was with him had been like, all right, bitch, I still don't forgive you. Like, you're gonna, like, even if he'd have done all that and then was killed by that guy, but it like wraps up so clean where that guy's like, oh, you know what? I get where you're coming from now. I forgive you. It was such a neat little package.
Chili says he thinks Gaius is going to be a huge part of 6.0.
I hope so.
I think that too. And
I do too.
I don't doubt that they're going to do that, but I want something else with this story. Like, why make him the leader to rebuild? Like, I want a rebuilding story now. I want a conclusion to this story now.
Yeah.
This we're at like the midway point of a full story.
We're only venting on this because of what has happened in past stories. So we're like speculating essentially that nothing will be done with this and him. So if they are keeping him alive, they better make fucking good use of his life still being there. It needs to be worth it.
I want a real conclusion to this story. But I don't think they'll do that. I think they're just going to say, we did it. He's in charge of the rebuilding. But somehow he's going to show up in Garlemald, even though like rebuilding
I think he's going to be alive to be like sort of a little bit of a bridge of a connector, but not actually play a vital role in the story because they've already done him, which makes his survival weak. That's my speculation. I know I'm negative. Sorry, but that's...
KK says they're going to abandon Gaius for all of 6.0 and then bring him back at the end like Fordola.
Right? Oh my God. I feel like, I mean, if you've got Gaius and you've got Sid, you're going to use Sid. Like, why have both?
Gaius and Sid are very different.
I know, but like, what different role are they going to play with bringing us toward Garlemald?
Well, one's like a techie guy and one's like a fighter.
Okay. So it's a techie approach versus a fight, but techie's still fighting. He gives us tech to fight.
I know, but I wouldn't compare them for the story. I mean, they've had like completely different arcs. Like,
I know their arcs leading up to this have been completely different, but I meant from where they are right now, where they both were like, they turned against where they came from and everything that now they're good guys and they work with us, and then now we're going to attack Garlemald. So how at that point where they're at now is it different for moving the story forward?
Sid's gonna build the Enterprise, and Gaius is gonna fight.
Gaius is gonna man the guns. That's how it's different.
He's gonna go with Thancred on a espionage mission.
So, but Chili says so. Gaius hasn't turned against them. He still believes in the city.
Yeah, that's kind of true. He was just always like the nice Nazi.
Jeez.
But yeah, I don't think we're as much as I want like a rebuilding story of this city. Like I kind of like it like a new hub for like Mordana. But let's bring some commerce to the city. I liked rebuilding Doma. I thought that was cool. If they were going to do something like that, where there's actually a Gaius storyline and his daughter's storyline there.
But you don't feel like just rebuilding another city wouldn't feel just like Doma again? Like we've done that already.
I mean, it's up to them to make it feel unique.
Valid.
But like, if you're not going to finish the story, like, why should I care about the story if I'm not getting the end? Like, what's going to happen to the people of this town? What's going to happen in this area?
Yeah.
So that's what I thought about the story. As for the fight, I thought the normal mode version of this fight was great. The first time I went in, we had some people die, and we wiped. I think we wiped 3 times my first attempt at this, and I thought the mechanics were pretty interesting. I think they translated to extreme as well. But yeah, I thought it was just a good difficulty fight.
I don't remember. You were with me. Did we die on our run?
Ours was less eventful.
Okay, yeah. It's like we've done extreme, and I remember extreme. I legitimately like.
Yeah, you do normal once, and then you never do it again.
Yeah, so it's hard for me. Sorry, because my normal mode. I mean, it was fine. I went in with my husband, and I think KK joined us, and we had a few people.
Who's your husband?
You are. So I think we had enough of an established group that we survived it just fine. I do like that, like the extreme fight actually took us a few different attempts before we finally beat it. But then once we beat it, it's like those fights where you beat it once, and then it's like you found the missing piece, and you just beat it again and again.
Yeah, when one of those last difficult mechanics just clicks, then you're home free. It is a long fight.
It is a long fight.
And that's why we get 2 totems each time you beat it.
And it's I have to say I can see it being frustrating as a DPS player or even as a healer because the different platforms. I like the change in mechanics, like the difference of it. It's like the difficulty is there, but it's different. It's not just like meet the DPS check, meet the healer check. It's not that. There's more to it. Like there's strategy that has to be involved in coordination, and I appreciated all of that.
Yeah, and just like I like playing Monk, I like a lot of action. I like a lot of things to do. So I like the whole jumping over thing. And I like that it wasn't scripted. It wasn't the same thing every time. It had the chance to do one move here and switch it up, and it's a different move.
Yeah.
So you actually did have to pay attention.
I agree with that because, like the first third of the fight before you get to that point, you do get a little like cross-eyed kind of with some of those fights where you're just like, I know exactly what I'm going to do to get to the next point. I enjoyed the extreme version of Diamond Weapon much more than I did the 24-man. This had that threshold that was just difficult enough for content that you will do with a pug group that, you will die if you don't work together, but, like you can do it together. So that's kind of, that's the like level I like of new content.
Yeah. The extreme primals are like the sweet spot for me. I think that's some of the best content in the game. I know people get a little bit scared of it, but I think the vast majority of people who play this game are able to do the extreme primals. Just takes a little practice.
So KK says I thirst for savage content. I actually prefer the extreme primal content. The for me, at least for our group, because I can't talk for every group, the savage content takes too long for me personally.
It can take a long time to progress, especially when you're only doing it 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And then you inevitably have people that have to miss.
I don't play enough for savage content to really fix that. Like I start to get annoyed with a fight with Savage. Like, have we not beat this yet? But with an extreme primal, you know, it's a few times doing, a few different days doing it with your group, and you're like, oh, I get it now, cool. And then you also can feel confident enough with the difficulty of that fight to do it with pugs. Where like the Savage content, no way in hell would I ever want to do that with a pug, ever, not even a little bit.
Yeah, I think we tried that back in Heaven's Ward for a little while, and we both got tired of trying to pug. But yeah, so I think definitely the diamond weapon so far, the highlight of the patch for me. I have done MSQ. Avi has not done MSQ yet. But I think she's actually going to enjoy it more when she can do it once 5.55 comes out and can do them back to back. Because I found this one kind of short actually. But obviously, if you want to do expert roulette, you do have to do it.
I need to do it. It's just one of those. It's been a crazy week this week. I haven't gotten to do a lot of things I wanted to do.
So yeah, I'm gonna skip talking about the dungeon until Avi's gotten a chance to do that. And something she won't do probably is the Ishgardian Restoration Fets. I don't know why they didn't just call these Fates. But it's like the celebration in the restoration of Ishgard, celebrating.
I did some of those once for one of the like when they first came out, and I don't ever want to do it again.
Well, that was just a regular fate. These are different, but basically they're the same thing. You're running around, you're clicking here, you're clicking there. This one has more celebration to it than like you actually building.
When we did it before, there were just too many people.
Oh, there's still too many people.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that I couldn't tell where I was supposed to click because there were so many people on. Like that was a bit. Ugh.
And yeah, I think I did this day one as well. And the first time we did this, I think it was the first time it happened on the server, so everyone was there.
Yeah.
And
Disco says that fête is French for party.
Yes.
People
have been trying to teach me how to pronounce it, and it just does not stick.
I haven't looked into
fête,
it,
but I'm not sure. I think I decided it's Fett, like Boba Fett.
You've decided.
I've decided. Fuck the French. But yeah, but this is how you got gifts to turn in or gifts to pop for.
I think it's
rewards like the antelope mount. Was that Avi? KK says it's fate.
It's fate. Oh, if I'm seeing online, we actually use this fate.
Ah.
Boba Fett.
Fate.
Disco saying fett, like it's different.
Well,
I'm trying to do it while I'm.
They should have used a word we all knew how to say. But yeah, it is what it is. It's like not hard content. It's kind of just like bonus content. It's a way for you to get some cool rewards. Like I said, if you did this like day one and you got some good rewards, you were able to sell those for a decent amount. But everything has pretty much dropped since then.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I checked out is the new Sky Steel tools.
That's the thing I was more like, yeah, I'll never do.
Which is like our relic crafter and gatherer weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not doing these either. I checked it out and I was just like, nope. This is basically I'm not doing it for crafter. I can't say I looked at the gatherers yet.
Chili says that he did it for his fisher.
But I looked at the crafting ones and it's the expert recipes like I did for the restoration of Ishgard. So they take a while. Those rotations that you have to use take about 5 minutes a craft. And you would have had to do it 180 times. There's like 60 of 3 things that you need to make.
It's a lot of times.
And I'm just like, the only thing better on the new weapon is it has like an extra meld slot, guaranteed meld slot.
So that's it. So 25 of something.
And it's shiny. But I don't care about that stuff, so that doesn't matter to me. And I'm like, this is immediately going to be outclassed in the new expansion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, no, I'm not putting that much time.
So if you're like a main crafter or like you're a main gatherer, then that might make a difference for you, but not necessarily.
But it's like you're only doing it for the shiny, basically.
Yeah.
Because you don't need the other stats. I can make every.
Oh, I see.
Like the only reason you need better stats is to make these expert recipes.
You can make them without them.
Like I can make like everything else in the game. I can make the best battle armor for people to sell with the current stats I have. So like until you start introducing expert recipes that we actually like sell to customers and stuff like that, and not just expert recipes so we can get a better crafting weapon.
Got it.
There's really no reason to have the better other than aesthetics.
That makes sense. That's fair.
I guess maybe to make your melds easier, but you're probably going to have good ass melds to be able to make these expert recipes anyways. So I think anyone that's doing this is just doing it for the shiny. Or to just say they did it, which is perfectly fine. I'm just not at the point where I'm going to dedicate time of my life to something like that.
That's fair.
If I'm going to dedicate time into the game, it's going to be to actually like progress my character. But yeah, that's about all that I checked out or did in patch 5.5. Avi, did you have anything to add?
No, my thing to add was the antelope, but I added it early because I'm always excited about the new mounts. The other two are gold shiny mounts, but they're still like existing mounts in the game. So like I can see other people with them. I don't need to collect all the things, so I'm fine not. I'd rather hoard my gil than buy them because I don't have so much gil that I need to blow 50 million gil.
So now it's time for the community roundup, partner. And I haven't really seen anything new these last couple of weeks, so I thought we'd just shout out a show we haven't in a while. You've probably listened to them before, but in case anyone is new, anyone who hasn't checked them out, be sure to check out State of the Realm podcast, hosted by Mr. Happy and Sly the Fox. And when you need your lore fix, look for an episode from them when they have Ethis Asher on. And they're all really fun. We've hung out with them at FanFest and TwitchCons before. So, yeah, go check them out if you haven't. Another great podcast. Now it's time for some listener reaction. And this one was an email. And I'm going to keep some personal stuff from this one out just because I don't know if they wanted to share that or not. But it says, "Greetings, Pete Navi. It is he who is me, the Dr. D. Delicious. I've been playing 14 for about 4 months now and found your podcast early on. As I work third shift, it has kept me entertained late at night while I'm slaving away. I'm proud to say that I am now officially caught up on all the episodes, and it has been quite a ride. I thought I would just drop an email to let you know how much I have enjoyed all of it, including your own growth as podcasters. This seemed too verbose to DM or mention in a Twitch stream. I would like to commiserate with Avi, as having previously been a chef for 18 years. Yelp is the worst."
Worst in all caps.
Yeah. How you know they've been listening, man. They knew your Yelp rant.
Oh, goodness.
Done that a couple times. Another inside story. Not going to lie, I almost CC'd cowboy69@gmail.com. That is obviously the email we say to send all your hate mail to. cowboy69@gmail.com.
I feel like you should email them at some point, Pete, to see if they actually is a person using that.
Someone's getting some weird emails. And they go on, continue. "Thank you for being you, Dr. Delicious at Gilgamesh. P.S. Huge beards rule."
Sorry, excuse me.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Delicious. And always appreciate you being here in chat as well.
Yes, thank you for... Oh my god, this tweet. Oh, this is funny. Sorry. This tweet, I missed this tweet. It's from Disco Cub, and it's, it says, "The universe heard that people wanted to cosplay their Final Fantasy XIV characters. As she is I tank," meaning Pete, "this is your chance." And it was, "Should I get this breastplate for Drag Kings?" And it was like, it's this silicone muscle bound, and it goes from like your abs to your neck to your wrists. So he could wear his subligar.
This is really well made. It looks really good.
In the pictures, it looks incredible. I wonder how much that cost. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Yeah. Thank you, Disco.
Should I do that, Avi? Should I go get it?
It depends how much it costs.
And just walk around the neighborhood like that?
You'd get like the worst tan line too. Like your hands would be all tan. You'd like mowing the lawn and that. Like, oh my god. Hilarious.
But thank you for that, Disco Cub. And with that, I think you can take us out, Avi.
Disco says that they have the drag queen version. They're handy. So it actually must be a higher quality one if it's actually like a wearable.
Nice. I mean, it looks like...
It looks really
well
good.
made.
You see it more for female builds than you do for male builds. So I think that's more of it. So yeah. On that note, that is going to be it for this week's episode. As always, we've enjoyed hanging out with all of you guys live here on Twitch, so thank you so much for spending your time with us. We really appreciate it. If you're new, be sure to hit that follow button so you know the next time we will be going live. And a great big thank you to everyone listening to the podcast through iTunes, Stitcher, Podbeam, or wherever you decide to consume your shit. You really are the reason we keep making episodes. It was in the intro and I had to keep it. And remember, wherever you do listen or consume your shit, it would mean a shit ton to us if you gave our little podcast a rating or a review, or more important, tell a friend to check us out. Here with Vegan Pete, I am Avi Ale, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.